Hey guys, it's time for us to read and answer the embedded questions over My Life as a Bat by Margaret Atwood. Remember that you cannot take the test on Friday until you have completed this assignment. You have other assignments to do as well. But unless I see that you have read it, annotated what you were supposed to annotate, and answered the questions, then you'll have to do that first before you are able to take the test. All right, so we will have already read this together. Now let's talk about the questions. Highlight two details in paragraphs 1 through 4 that help explain the section heading. So each section, there are several sections of this story, and the first one is called Reincarnation. And when it's asking you, so you're highlighting two details that help explain why this is called reincarnation, okay? And then what role does this section play in the structure of the story? So I want you to think about it in terms of this because I know this is what they're asking you. As far as story structure, we're talking about, maybe it's on this page. We're talking about, no, it's not. It's on the next page, sorry. On your Get Ready page, this is structure. So we're talking about the structure here. Remember how I told you it was so important that you study the Get Ready page because this focus on genre, the this structure part, the language part, analyzing language and the different types of figurative language that they talk about. And then even the language convention, the colons at the bottom. That's what you're supposed to be learning, the skills that you're supposed to be learning through reading this text. So make sure that you refer back to these and make sure you understand them. So what the question is asking you is this the exposition, the rising action, the climax, the falling action, or the resolution of the story? Okay, so that's what I want you to put in your answer and then explain why and use evidence from the text. All right, let's go back to the story. Remember, it's helpful if you just read part of it. It's called chunking the story into parts. Just read part of it and then answer the question as you're going instead of going back and trying to answer them later. Because a lot of times it helps if you only know partial information to answer that question because that's what they're asking you about is just that section. So this close read screencast just shows you how to think and talk about the story and how to discuss it. You might want to watch that as well. Highlight two similes in paragraph 7. So you know what a simile is. If you need a refresher on that, then go back to the Get Ready page and look at the examples. Highlight two similes and how do the comparisons, because the simile is a comparison, how do the comparisons that the author makes create tension? How does it create tension? Okay, so you would need to highlight the two similes. You could start it out with something like the two similes in paragraph 7 create tension by, and then go on to explain it. Doesn't ask for text evidence on that one, so I'm not going to insist that you provide it. The next one, highlight a statement in the nightmares section that expresses the opposite of conventional thinking. All right, so actually I skipped one. Let's go back one. Highlight positive images and impressions in paragraph 9. So in paragraph 9, what here would be considered positive? That's sort of a judgment call. I see this, the yuccas in bloom, and I've been gorging myself on their juices and pollen. Well, that sounds pretty positive, doesn't it? How does the narrator feel about the memory of being a bat? Why is this passage a nightmare? Sorry. So again, they ask you, why the first section is called reincarnation. So basically, why is the second section called nightmare, even though there are some positive images? So highlight the positive images. And then how does the narrator feel about the memory of being a bat? What is her tone? How does she feel about it? And why is this part of the text nightmare? Now, highlight a statement in the nightmare section that expresses the opposite of conventional thinking. Conventional thinking just means like something that you would consider normally what someone would think about something. So as humans, we come to expect certain reactions to certain things from people. If you hear somebody was injured or sick and you go, oh, that's terrible, I hate to hear that. That's conventional thinking. So what in what statement in that section is the opposite sort of what you would expect someone to think about something? And how does this statement serve to contrast humans and bats? So remember our contrasts and contradictions. So how does that statement contrast or show the differences between humans and bats? Make sure you're really thinking about these questions and answering the question that it asks you. The next section is vampire films. In paragraph 15, highlight a context clue for the meaning of the commonly used foreign phrase, déjà vu. So in other words, what words in the sentence where déjà vu is used, what words give you clues as to what that word means? How does the use of the phrase déjà vu support the narrator's claim of a past life? So she says she was a bat in a past life. How does using the phrase déjà vu support that claim? The next section is the bat as a deadly weapon. Highlight instances of the idea of death in paragraph 20. That's pretty straightforward. So anything that refers to death in paragraph 20. Why might the narrator be emphasizing this idea? Why might the narrator emphasize death? Highlight the colon in paragraph 23. We've done a lot of work with colons recently. How does the information that follows the colon add to the meaning of the sentence? So after the colon, the words that follow, how does that add meaning to the sentence? The next section is called beauty. Highlight two details in the section beauty that describe the future the narrator envisions. So the future that the narrator of the story sees. Two details. How does this section serve as a resolution for the story? So we're back to the structure here from the Get Ready page. The resolution reveals how events turn out. It's also called a denouement, but we can call it a resolution. So how things turn out. So let me get back to the question real quick. Sorry. Oh, it's actually the last question. How does this section serve as a resolution for the story? Well, it's at the end, but how is the plot of the story resolved? How is this an ending? How is this a resolution to the story? Okay. And these questions seem pretty reasonable, pretty straightforward. If you need any help, ask me. But remember, you have to have attempted all of these questions with a reasonable answer. It doesn't matter if it's, completely right or wrong or completely the way I think it should be, as long as you thought about it and answered the questions on your own. Don't copy somebody else's. Don't look for an analysis online. I want you to do it yourself. Okay, and so you'll be ready to take the test on Friday. Read the story again if you need to. Also today, you're doing the check your understanding, so just these 3 multiple choice, because I thought it would probably take you all class period to read and answer those questions, because I think there were 7 of them. If you don't get that finished, then you do need to do that for homework. Tomorrow we'll be doing the analyze the text questions and the vocabulary. And remember to refer back to your agenda to see what we're going to be doing every day. It's very straightforward, easy to understand, and then I'll add the video after I get them done, usually 8th period every day for the next day. All right, so I will talk to you tomorrow.